Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Daniel Umstead, host of the RNG radio show. Got another king, y'all. January 2024, we are bringing in the kings and queens on the RNG radio show. But before I get into who I got on the show, let me talk to you about who he is. So, a Philadelphia native is a seasoned technology professional with a bachelor's degree in communications from Temple University. Over the past 15 years, his expertise in computer science and technology has spanned IT work from local municipalities to engineering and systems design within large medical systems in Pennsylvania. As the owner and founder, that's right, owner and founder of SuperHome, he leads a cutting-edge company specializing in property automation, security, surveillance, access control, and various low-voltage specialties. In addition to his tech ventures, he is also a real estate investor with experience in both buy and hold and fix and flip strategies. This dynamic blend of technology and real estate showcases his commitment to shaping innovative solutions and contributing to the evolving landscape of real estate technology. Above all, he is a devoted husband to his wife, Karen, and his amazing, beautiful daughter. If you haven't checked out the pictures already, Ari. Ladies and gentlemen, King Luis Vega. Luis, man, thank you so much for coming on the RNG radio show, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Dan. Thank you so much for the opportunity, man. It's been a little bit. We're supposed to do this a little sooner, so I'm glad we're able to connect.
No problem, man. Listen, no problem. I know like 2023, 2022, life happens. You had the baby. So
Yeah,
I know that's, little busy.
for
So
sure, man.
we're here now. But let's talk about the why, man. Not everybody wakes up and it's like, hey, I want to, get more on the technology side as far as it comes to smart homes and even your real estate journey as well. So if you can, for the ladies and gentlemen that are tuning in right now, listening, can you talk more about that?
Absolutely. So some of the why I've been in technology, man, ever since I was pretty much in grade school, high school. I actually went to high school for computer science as well. So technology has been in my blood for a while. My father was in the tech, and so it's kind of something that I just evolved over time with. Getting into security surveillance, the low voltage, it kind of was like a little bit of a natural progression. Being in IT, understanding networking and computers and technology, I was a nerd, Dan. I was into the tech, right? So started with my house and started adding technology and door locks and lighting and thermostats. And my wife's like, "All right, this is getting out of hand now. What's going on?" Because my house is like Inspector Gadget. I have stuff everywhere, stuff happening all the time. But I kind of won her over with a few things. The cameras and the lighting were really big ones for her. And so after I did my own home, I started doing it for friends and family. And then the word kind of got out and I started working with more homeowners. And then naturally, even after that, due to my experience in real estate, I started working with a lot of real estate investors. And that's what a lot of what we're doing today. So kind of been a natural progression. That's why it happened. It started with being interested in technology, and it kind of just snowballed from there.
I love that. Love that. Now with Superhome, before we even continue further with the interview, where can folks actually find out more information or even get in contact with you for assistance or even installation services?
For sure. Yeah, everything is available on yoursuperhome.com. Yoursuperhome.com. You guys can find me on social media as well. I have Instagram, of course, Facebook, Your Superhome, at Your Superhome on Instagram. And yeah, follow me there. I have a lot of stuff that I post about projects that we're working on and things that we're doing. But yoursuperhome.com is the best way. And then if you guys want to shoot a text or give me a call, 215-469-1387.
Appreciate that, man. Really appreciate that.
For sure.
And I got some questions for you, investor side as well as smart home side. I'm gonna start on the investor side first. What are investors missing when it comes to real estate technology? I know the big thing, even post COVID, or I should even say during COVID, was even just doing a standard Zoom call. Folks are like, "What? Whoa! How do I work this? How do I maneuver this?"
Yeah.
From your experience, because you've been doing this for quite some time, what are investors missing as it relates to RE technology, man?
Yeah, so it's interesting. One of the big things I think that investors are missing is one that there is, there's multiple ways to kind of skin this technology cat, if you will. You can do it from multiple different areas, multiple different segmentations of the process. So to start, One of the things I think they're missing is kind of this job site security. If you're doing a property that's under construction, there's job site security available where you can have cameras on site, both that just monitor only and cameras that monitor and are able to connect to police dispatch as well. And I think, in both projects, big and small, because we think like, well, that sounds like something I wouldn't be able to afford in my project. There's, solutions for both big and small to allow the investors to have eyes on their property, no power, no Wi-Fi needed on site, which is a big one too. Properties under construction, electricity is obviously all over the place. You don't know when it's on or off. So we can put up cameras that that don't require any power and don't require any Wi-Fi, but still allow you to view the cameras remotely from anywhere in the world. You could be in Dubai having your vacation and enjoying yourself and being able to view your property and check in on your property. And that's good for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, there's vandalism and things that can happen, and we want to try to catch that kind of stuff. But two, it's just really more of like a property management, job management tool as well. You can keep an eye on who's coming and going, and you can kind of see who's been there, at any particular time of the day. So, yeah, it's been pretty cool to kind of see how that can start off, and then from there, we have a lot of technology solutions that we can, implement, and it really starts with, how you want to utilize the technology and what kind of experience do you want for your tenants. That's really the big question. That's the discovery question I ask a lot. It's like, what kind of experience do you want for your tenants? Or what kind of experience do you want for the new homeowner that's going to be buying this home? Like, what is it that you want to wow them with? What are some of the amenities that are important to you? So we start with that, and then we start to kind of, cut down, kind of shave it down to more of a, the most economical solutions for you, because obviously as investors, we're always trying to save money and, be the most efficient as possible. But also, how are we going to deliver the great experience to command those rents, to command that price, that final price tag on the home when you put it on the market? So, so those are the things I can get into a little bit more, the technology as well, like what's available and that kind of thing. But I think one of the things that they're missing is, knowing that you can protect your project to start. And then once you get into your project and it's underway, designing solutions that command higher rents and also command higher price tags on the final listing. Using technology and incorporating that to boost those numbers is a really key thing. I think that in 2024 and beyond should be a real focus for investors.
I really appreciate that, man. I can't tell you how many investors that I come across that's their biggest issue. Either the people that they hired aren't doing the job, or copper pipes. The copper pipes are either getting stolen,
Yep.
and they need somebody on site, or they're having their nephew or a family member come by and check in on the property, providing that solution. Because the biggest thing, because listen, my question was going through my head. I'm like, how are you installing the cameras without the Wi-Fi or the electricity? But you're saying that you already have that solution. I need folks to get in contact with Luis today. So thank you for that. Another question I got for you: how can real estate investors better use technology in their portfolio?
Yeah, and this is kind of a continuation of that first one, actually. So it's a great question. One of the best ways I think that they could use them in their portfolio is to automate the kind of check-in and check-out process for tenants. Those that are coming in for their first day of their new apartment, they're super excited. Giving them like a seamless access experience, particularly in multifamily, it's a big one. We want to make sure that we give them access to their property and to their unit and have it be like a really seamless experience. Security is actually a really, really important feature of properties as well for tenants. They're looking to feel safe when they walk up to the property. And so having cameras on site is another big one. Those two components are probably the first base components that I would recommend to any real estate investor who, wants to incorporate more technologies to streamline that access of the building, and then also providing some security. That includes other things, not just technology, but like lighting and fencing, gates and things like that, just to help secure and harden the property. Those are very important to tenants, and it means a lot to them, and and feeling safe when they come home, maybe late at night or whatever it might be, knowing that they have access to some of these amenities. So those are the big ones. But I think one of the ones that really can shape a lot is not only the check-in and check-out process, but giving tenants access to their apartment and having control over their apartment from their phone. That's a big one that I think, it seems like an extra expense or a bigger expense, but in reality, the folks who are renting today, we got the millennials and then, past that, Gen Z, et cetera, they're looking for technology. This is something that they've grown up with, they come to expect it, and so when they're buying a home, they're looking for it. So when they, move into an apartment, they're also looking for some of these amenities as well. And, things like, letting in the dog walker or a house cleaner or something like that, being able to remotely let them in or issue temporary codes. That's a huge one. Being able to control their heating and cooling in the apartment as well, making sure when they come home from work, it's at the right temperature, but it's not wasting, while they're at work. There's a lot of little things that we can do that have big impact, but are small upfront costs. So those are some of the key things I think that investors should be looking out for, in now this year and beyond.
I love that, man. And to add on to that question, you talked about the access to the phone, which is huge, because even some of these Airbnbs that I've been on, either I'll get the calls like, "Hey, I see you at the door right now," and
Yeah.
somebody who may be older, such as myself, is like, "Who's talking? God? God, is that you?" It's just the owner themselves allowing
Right.
access. What other things do you see as far as some of the new trends in real estate? And also, this is a double header question because we're in 2024 now. What do you see for the future? What do you see in like 2028, 2029 coming to fruition?
Yeah, absolutely. So, some of the big ones, I think are going to be more like property automation. And, it's here now. I don't think a lot of people are taking advantage of it, and that's probably ties into question the previous to this one as well, is like how can they better manage their portfolio? Property automation is really, I think, what's going to kick off majorly in the next 2 to 3 years. And what we're going to see is essentially the properties kind of coming to life, or the apartments coming to life. This actually takes place a lot in Airbnb as well. I don't think that a lot of Airbnb owners really automate their property. They may have control over their property, but they're not automating it. And the automation means essentially, when somebody comes up to the door, the lights come on, the thermostat comes on to the right temperature, the lights inside the units come on. You're able to make the units kind of come alive. And having things automatically happen in sequence, I think is what's going to be a big trend, coming in the next 2 to 3 years. We're already starting to see it now. Large home builders are incorporating smart technology into their buildings, into their new constructions. So essentially, when people move in, it's already ready to go. And this has been happening for quite some time. But I think the automation part of it, is going to be a big winner in the next few years, particularly around rental, long-term rental, short, midterm. Being able to automate from the new lease signing, that kind of kicking off what apartment gets assigned to that person, and then the codes for that door being generated and all of that stuff kind of happening all at once. I really do see that as the big trend coming into the future, is property automation.
Thank you for the insight on that, man. Greatly appreciate that.
Definitely.
Other question that I have for you, and this is more on the smart home side as it relates to SuperHome. What makes a home a smart home? People think that it's like, oh, well, I already have the digital thermostat, so I obviously have a smart home, or I am God, if you will, allowing. But from your point of view, how do you define a home being a smart home?
Yeah, yeah, that it is a common kind of misconception. Like, hey, I got a Ring doorbell in the front, I
I'm
got a
good.
smart home, right? Yeah, it's already smart, right? Not quite. So there are actually some standards. You have to have at least 3 components in your home to technically classify it as a smart home, and it can be a variation of different things. It can be, like a video doorbell for your video and kind of security. It can be smart lighting. It could be a smart thermostat. It could be a smart lock. There's many different variations and spin-offs, but it does have to have at least 3 components, 3 of those main components. And then I think, taking it even a step further, especially for flippers out there or anybody who's renovating their own home and want to kind of future proof it, adding the wiring, like the Ethernet wiring We're putting a lot of Cat 6 in properties today. The next generation of Cat 5, Cat 5e. So, using that for kind of hardwired connections, not only so you can plug in your computer and your printer, but we're also hardwiring like your wireless access points in the home as well. The parts where you would normally have to put an extender because you don't have coverage, on that third floor rooftop deck, you can't get your internet service up there. We're going to hardwire and kind of plan and design this from the beginning so that the wireless experience is top notch. We want a great experience, especially, if you're moving into your home and you're building at new construction, you want to be able to go and roam anywhere in the house and have your connectivity. You don't want there to be any dead spots, especially during the construction when we can plan for this. So I think, adding that in is a really, really big component. And I may add this, I spoke with an appraiser who mentioned that they are considering, wiring, Ethernet wiring and smart home technology now in their appraised values. So that's not something that we saw, 5-10 years ago where it was being, kind of factored in. But again, as I mentioned earlier, it's become an expectation that there's, these elements are in the home, and it does add value, convenience, comfort, security, all these things that make a house, like attractive. So appraisers are starting to kind of, incorporate this into their appraised values, which is a really big thing. I mean, as a flipper, you're probably not thinking that you're going to get your money back if you put stuff like that in there, but turns out that appraisers are starting to factor it in. So something to think about.
No, I love that. And then, for those that are listening right now, investors and the like, or even those that are looking to purchase their new home, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show where we have the shameless plug-in again. Can you drop that contact information one more time? Because I know people are thinking like, man, if I could, increase the value of my home or even increase the value of the property, by talking to Lewis, I might get a better deal. So if you can with us, drop that information one more time, where folks can find you at.
No shame in my game, Dan. YourSuperHome.com. Please check me out. YourSuperHome.com. Reach out. We have forums on there. You can design a system on there. You can reach me on Instagram as well at YourSuperHome, and 215-469-1387 if you want to shoot a text or give me a call. But the website's the best way. You can design your system, drop me a little line on what you're interested in, what you're looking to do, and then we can reconnect.
Appreciate that, man. And then now there's an ugly side to this, of course. What are some of the hurdles homeowners face when choosing smart home technology? There's a lot of stuff out there. Ring has its own competitor. I mean, obviously, your Super Home is the best out there, but what
Right.
are some of the hurdles homeowners usually dealing with as it comes to smart technology for their home?
Yeah, one of the big hurdles, Dan, is I think standardizing on a platform or a smart technology assistant to use in their smart home. And the reason why this becomes a problem is because there's so many products out there. Like you mentioned, you can have a Ring or a Eufy or a Google or, Wise, or there's so many different consumer brands out there. And then there's, even further than that, you have more professional brands and more professional home automation tools that you can incorporate in your home. And there's just so many different ones from different manufacturers. And we really find that homeowners struggle with trying to standardize. Well, what do I use? Well, I'm an iPhone user, I'm an iPad user. Should I go with Apple Home's platform to kind of control my technology? I'm an Android user. Should I standardize on the Google, technology? Or should we go with like an Amazon, like Alexa or something like that? And sorry if I just triggered somebody's speaker.
No,
But there's, but there's,
quiet back there. No, play.
Right. So it's kind of tough for people to kind of figure out, well, what do I standardize? And a lot of the big question that we get is, hey, I don't want to be using a bunch of different apps to control things. I don't want to have an app for my cameras and an app for my lock and an app for my, thermostat. And how do I combine this in the one place where I have essentially a dashboard, right, that I can use to control my home, where everything's in one place and everything's easily managed? And so those are the types of solutions that we focus on. We really try to design our homes so that you have one app that's used for everything. And you can, go to that one place to find all your cameras in a quick, because you don't want to be jumping around like, oh, what, the app deleted itself, or, I moved into a different folder. It's just one app that you go to and you're able to, view all of your components and control your home from there. So that's probably the biggest hurdle, is standardizing on a platform of which one to use that integrates with all the different technologies, because not every hardware that's produced works with every software platform or every AI or virtual assistant, like Siri or some of the other ones, Google Assistant. So they don't all talk nice, and so figuring that out is something that we really help with and kind of overcome that hurdle.
I love that. Love that. And then want to take a break in the interview here, real quick. Not everybody has great days. We wake up. It's beautiful out right now. Of course, for our fellow Philadelphia Eagles fans, it's not such a great morning.
Yeah.
But
Right.
we got ugly days, we got good days, and we got bad days. What keeps you motivated, man? I'm pretty sure you don't always have the greatest of clients. I'm pretty sure, with wiring, something may come about. How do you stay motivated? How do you keep grinding, and how do you stay focused in your dreams and accomplishments, man?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It is hard, especially running a business is not easy for anybody, no matter what industry you're in or vertical. Running your own business is very challenging. You kind of have to, pep yourself up a lot of the time and push yourself forward, because there are going to be bad days. One of the things that keeps me the most motivated is my family. It may seem like a cop out, but they are, really, really important to me. And so everything that I do is around, like, how can I produce the best life for them? How can I, keep them as comfortable as possible and give them everything that they need, and they want. I know my daughter Arya, she's 10 months now, and at some point she's gonna, start asking for toys and certain things, right? So it's about kind of game planning and just, building my business in such a way that not only can I provide for them and do well, which is, I've been so blessed and fortunate to be able to do that, but also kind of, I want to sort of autopilot my business a little bit too. And so putting in things that I can do, to make sure that I can autopilot, have my business a little bit more on autopilot, and it runs, without me, and we have consistent, income and things like that. So, they keep me really motivated, to further both those areas in my business, especially on days where it's like, man, you think, things are going right and they're not. They are really the cornerstone of everything. In addition to that, I do a lot of personal development type stuff. I watch a lot of different podcasts, read books on personal development, just to kind of stay motivated. Watching YouTube videos on people's story that started in, humble beginnings, and then made their fortunes and done amazing things, and have, given back to communities and done a whole bunch of different things. So I'm very inspired by that type of stuff as well. So I keep that in rotation. I try to stay away from things that don't motivate me, or things that I can't learn from. I'm always trying to learn, and try to learn different things. So yeah, so I'd say between family and just trying to stay motivated through personal development, books, podcasts, and things like that, that's what keeps me going every single day.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. And then I got one final question for you. And we kind of already alluded to it earlier, but from your point of view, what are some of the benefits of smart home technology in the home?
Yeah, I mean, one of the big benefits is really just that's the security to start, and then the convenience factor. Being able to come home and your home already knows that you want it at a certain temperature in the home. In different areas, you can have lighting come on. So let's just kind of talk through a very, very basic scenario. You're on your way home from work. 1 mile up until you get to your home realizes, okay, you're getting close. So there's a kind of a geo fence in the app that's looking at your location and saying, okay, you're close to home. When I get within 1 mile of my home, I want a whole bunch of things to start to happen. So some of those things might be the lighting and your heating and cooling to get to the optimum levels. Maybe you want the front entrance of your home, the outside light to be on, the front porch light to be on, your living room to be on, your kitchen to be on, and maybe like your bedroom or something like that. But all the other lights can just stay off, right? But then your heating came up to that nice, whatever you like it at, 71 degrees, 72 degrees, and your house is already ready to go. But then when you walk up to your home, your door knows you're right at the front door, and you're able to unlock, the door unlocks for you, or it prompts you to unlock your door. So now you have entrance into the building. into your property, your lighting exactly the way you want it, your thermostat was set to exactly the way you want it, and maybe even you have a speaker that turns on in the kitchen because you're going to get ready to prep dinner. So you can start playing your favorite music. So those are the kinds of experience. And I have a tagline like, don't just live in your home, experience it. We want to build experiences in your home. You spend so much time there, you raise your family there, you have family and friends that come over, you entertain. You want your home to be an experience, things that happen that almost seem magical at times. When you walk into certain rooms, certain things happen. When you leave or you're not around for a certain amount of time, automatically the home, does something else. That's great. If you're going on vacation, your house knows that you're not there. Why run the thermostat? Why have the lights on? Why have, things going when you don't need to? So it's really about creating experiences through technology in the home, and also creating those experiences again, on the investor side, which is what we do so much of, having those types of experiences for your tenants. They're going to pay those rents when they have that type of living experience. They're really going to appreciate where they live. So those are some of the things that are, I think, really most important.
King Louis, thank you again so much for the insight, the gems that you dropped today. Really grateful for you, man. Definitely looking forward to having you come back on the podcast, talk more about the success of your business, because for those that don't know, me and Louis have been connected for quite some time, and I'll never forget the post that you put up where it's like, hey, I'm making this full-time now. And everybody's like, what? I thought this was your full-time business. So, seeing the success already for you, man, going from already having a job to now making this your priority is just a beautiful thing, man. So thank you again for coming on the show and just sharing that with us, man.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, man. You're doing a great job. You've been killing it with this podcast. I've seen all the episodes popping up, and you're doing an amazing job. And thank you for providing this to the community, because you're providing value for other people. You're bringing other people on that can help to enlighten somebody else's life. So thank you for what you're doing as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in to the RNG Radio Show. Be sure to like and subscribe for more episodes and future content. If you'd like to learn more, visit us at danielumstead.com. Stay blessed, my fellow millionaires.